Hey, folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of the Articulate Fly. We're back with another Ruch Report with the man himself, Brendan Ruch. Brendan, how are you?
Oh, what's going on, Marvin? Doing well. Currently out of state. Things are blown out, but last week was good, and I'm sure the drop is going to be good.
Yeah, there you go. So for extra credit, folks, if you know what state Brendan's in, if you DM me on Instagram, I'll send you some butcher shop stickers. So Brendan, let's drill a little bit in before. I know you guys got a ton of rain in PA. What was going on kind of before? I guess you kind of started to shift into the post spawn thing, right?
Yeah. So this time of year is interesting, and I think it was kind of like a week late just due to some colder weather we had. But I was catching fish that were pre-spawn and post-spawn last week. We were using, like, we had pretty interesting conditions. It was like dropping water, but it was very stained. So I had some guys out that were excited to throw some bright flies. And throughout the week, I think we covered probably 25 miles of river, like between the days, and some floats, the fish were definitely mostly spawning, it seemed. And then lower on the river, I think we were catching more of that post-spawn bite. So fish on mid-river structure, fish on hard current seams that were still willing to eat that 6-inch fly, trying to catch up from the spawn.
Yeah, I guess post spawn they'd be a little bit chasier, right?
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes there's fish that we definitely experienced a lot of shitty eats, like they're just eating the tail, and you can watch them they come up to the fly and you can see the fish, and then you can still see the whole fly, but you feel something, and then you strip, and you can you strip it right out of their mouth because they're just kind of nipping at it. So yeah, there is a small portion of the year where fish do kind of just grab the tail, but 99% of the time when you turn around and look at your guide and say, he was just nibbling, you're wrong. But this time of year, you're not wrong.
Got it. And so, kind of interesting too, right? Because I looked at your weather, and it's like we've gone from being kind of a little bit warmer than normal. You've got kind of cloudy and chilly weather for the next week to 10 days, right?
Yeah. And we're going to have some high water. So it's kind of a perfect storm for a good post-spawn bite. Hopefully it's not messing with the fry too much, but it is what it is.
There you go. Well, I got a question for you from Josh, and he's, getting even more optimistic about later in the season. And he wanted to get your thoughts on your favorite summer crayfish patterns and how you like to fish them.
I don't fish a ton of proper crayfish patterns. I do a lot of MFC mini gallop stuff, whether it's going to be a boogeyman or sex dungeon, peanut envy. I like to get low, fishing an intermediate tip line. Typically that's going to be the SA Tropical Titan tip. Or you can fish the Titan intermediate tip. So that's going to give you the full color throughout the head. Whereas the clear tip is obviously clear. So, I'll fish them close to the bottom. And if you can get some bottom contact, great. I don't fish crayfish flies a ton with people unless they're really dialed in. I know some people, Jake is very good at teaching fishing crayfish flies, and I don't know, I'd rather fish poppers, but you do catch a lot of big fish on crayfish. So to sum that up, I'm not a huge crayfish fisherman with fly rods, but I do fish a lot of crayfish lures.
Got it. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, I've got, other people that, are on the show, and they have kind of a similar thing. It's like they're not against it, but, to your point, if you take an angler that's not used to fishing that way, they're going to get hung up and lose flies, and you can have, great top water and kind of mid-column meets on bait fish, right?
Yeah. And fishing more buggy kind of stuff that time of year. I think you could catch a smallmouth bass 350 days a year on a crayfish pattern, whether it's I would say a tube or something that's going to get down and drag the bottom. There are some jig hooks out now that you could drag that thing for half a mile and not get snagged. And bottom contact is really the trigger that's triggering those fish. I don't think it's so much like an action of a particular plastic bait or anything. It's just the fish are responding to that jig, the lead hitting the rocks. But yeah, so there are some flies you can tie, specifically like changer crawl type, maybe with like a jig shank and one of those like spawn football beads. Like that would hang up a lot less than your traditional like straight eye hook with lead eyes. But yeah, so if you can cast out, get a good mend in, and then just watch the tip of that line as it starts to bow, that's going to be your strike indicator. And if you start to see ticks, you'll get familiar with, the pattern of ticks that the rock bottom is going to present, and you won't be setting the hook every 5 seconds when it's just a rock. But if you get down there, drag some rocks, that's how you're going to catch bass on crayfish flies.
Sounds like indicator fishing.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Well, folks, we love questions on the articulate fly. You can email me or DM me on social media, whatever's easiest for you. And if we use your question, I will send you some articulate fly swag, and it very well may include a butcher shop sticker. And we'll enter your drawing for some cool stuff from Brendan at the end of the season. And Brendan, before I let you go, and from your remote interview location in the Pacific or the Mountain Time Zone, I can't remember which, but why don't you let folks know kind of what you have availability for, kind of moving into the summer, how to reach out, and all that kind of good stuff.
So I am going to be guiding in June. I told a bunch of people that I was not going to be guiding in June. So I've got availability there, and I'm going to do some sporadic dates in July as well for some topwater bug fishing. And yeah, you can reach out at Brendan Ruch on Instagram, Logjam Live on the Logjam Instagram account, or I guess mine. That's going to be 8:35 Tuesday nights, and then Brendan Ruch on Facebook. And check out the nut job video if you haven't yet. I'm assuming if people are listening to this, and they have, but there's a video on Schultz Outfitters YouTube, and there's one on the Eric's YouTube channel called like Leggy Hair Day.
Yeah, I think I dropped the link to the new Schultz Outfitters video in the show notes, but I'll do that again. And I think I even added it from From Our Friends channel on our YouTube channel too.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I live to serve. You know how it is. So, folks, as I always say, we are getting ready to kind of head into, if you're into warm water fishing, we're getting ready to head into a great time of year. You owe it to yourself to get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Brendan.
Take care, guys. See you, Marvin.